Imagine walking into your garden, not to climb ladders, trim towering branches, or wait 5 or even 10 years for a tree to finally reward you, but instead finding yourself surrounded by compact, waist-high plants producing more food than any apple or peach tree ever could. Containers overflowing with berries, baskets filled with herbs, shrubs so heavy with fruit that their branches bend toward the ground. These small plants don't just grow quickly, they produce in abundance. In this video, we're counting down 8 compact crops that can yield up to 5 times more food per square foot than traditional fruit trees. No ladders, no wasted space, just efficient, concentrated productivity. And make sure you stay until the end, because the last few plants might completely reshape how you think about gardening. 1. Raspberries, a self-expanding system. If blackberries are structured and controlled, raspberries are dynamic builders of their own success. Compact, fast-growing, and highly productive, raspberries transform a simple planting into a self-renewing system, one that naturally expands year after year. Start with just a couple of canes, and within a year you may have a small patch. After 2 years, that patch can turn into a dense, living wall of fruit. This happens because raspberries don't just grow upward, they spread outward by sending up new shoots known as suckers. Each of these becomes a new fruiting cane, gradually forming a network designed for continuous production. You're not just growing plants, you're creating a system. And unlike fruit trees, raspberries don't require long waiting periods. You can expect a small harvest within the first year and full production by the second. Why they produce so efficiently? Each raspberry cane follows a 2-year cycle. In its first year, it grows and builds strength. In its second year, it produces fruit and then naturally dies back. At the same time, new canes are already growing to replace it, ensuring uninterrupted harvests season after season. Even better, dual harvest varieties. Many gardeners choose between summer-bearing and ever-bearing types, but ever-bearing, primocane fruiting varieties offer the most value. Varieties like Heritage, Polka, and Autumn Bliss produce 2 harvests annually, one in early summer from older canes, another in fall from new growth. This means fresh berries twice a year, while most fruit trees only produce once. Productivity per space. Each cane takes up very little space but can produce hundreds of berries. When you grow multiple canes along a trellis or fence, yields increase rapidly, essentially compressing the output of several fruit trees into a narrow strip of land. And since the fruit grows at a reachable height, harvesting is simple and efficient. No ladders, no lost fruit, just consistent picking every few days. Easy care raspberries require minimal maintenance. Simply remove the canes that have finished fruiting and allow new ones to take their place. Provide basic support, and they'll keep producing for years. They adapt well to partial shade, less than perfect soil, and even container growing. In fact, they perform surprisingly well in raised beds and large pots. Keep the soil evenly moist, add compost annually, and they'll thrive. Seasonal variation. Raspberry harvests change throughout the season. Early berries, bright and slightly tart. Mid-season, soft, sweet, and perfect for fresh eating. Late harvest, firmer berries, ideal for storage or baking. By planting different varieties, you can extend your harvest from early summer into late autumn. Yield comparison. A small 6-foot raspberry patch can produce 30 to 40 pounds of fruit per year, similar to a mature apple tree, but from a fraction of the space. And because raspberries continuously regenerate, you always have new fruit forming. Raspberries prove that productivity isn't about size, it's about smart growth. They don't rely on massive trunks or deep roots. They rely on renewal, efficiency, and natural expansion. 2. Blueberries. Compact but powerful blueberries may seem unassuming, but they are among the most efficient fruit producers you can grow. They stay relatively small, usually no taller than chest height, but use their structure extremely effectively. Nearly every branch on a mature plant produces fruit. Unlike trees that only bear on outer branches, blueberries fruit throughout the entire bush. Every part of the plant contributes. A single well-established bush can produce 8 to 10 pounds of berries per season. And since you can fit several bushes into the same space as one fruit tree, total yields can reach 30 to 50 pounds in the same area. That's multiple times the productivity per square foot. Why they're ideal for small spaces. Grow well in garden beds, raised planters, or containers. Require minimal pruning, just remove old or damaged branches. Naturally maintain a neat, rounded shape, easy harvest and protection. Their compact size makes everything easier. Protecting them from birds is simple. Just cover the plant with netting. And harvesting is effortless. You can reach every berry without climbing or stretching. More than just fruit, blueberries also enhance your garden visually. Spring, delicate blossoms attract pollinators. Summer, abundant fruit. Autumn, vibrant red and orange foliage. They double as ornamental plants. Perfect for containers. Because they prefer acidic soil, pH 4.5-5.5, blueberries are ideal for container growing, where soil conditions can be controlled precisely. Use a mix with pine bark and peat moss. Add an acid-friendly fertilizer and they'll thrive, even on a balcony or patio. Fast results. Unlike fruit trees that take years to produce, many blueberry varieties begin fruiting within 2 years. Storage advantage. Blueberries freeze exceptionally well, maintaining flavor and nutrients for months. This makes them perfect for long-term use in smoothies, baking, or everyday meals. In summary, small footprint, high productivity. Quick to mature. Long lifespan. Beautiful year-round blueberries are more than just a fruit crop. They're a model of efficient gardening, combining simplicity, accessibility, and consistent rewards. 3. Gooseberries, masters of the shade. If blueberries represent precision and control, gooseberries are tough survivors, and that's exactly what makes them so valuable. While most fruit crops demand full sun and carefully managed conditions, gooseberries are far less demanding. They perform exceptionally well in places where other plants struggle: partial shade, cooler climates, and overlooked corners of the garden. They transform underused spaces into surprisingly productive growing areas. A mature gooseberry bush stays compact, typically around 3 to 4 feet tall and wide, but once established, its productivity is impressive. Even with minimal care, you can expect around 5 to 8 pounds of fruit each year. Cooler temperatures don't hinder them. In fact, they often enhance their flavor. Few fruits benefit from cooler conditions the way gooseberries do. Watching them fruit is especially rewarding. Their branches gently arch under the weight of round, semi-translucent berries that can appear green, yellow, or red depending on the variety. In sunlight, they almost glow. Because the plant remains low and open, harvesting is simple. You can reach every berry without effort. Their ease of care comes down to one key trait. They produce fruit on older wood. To keep them productive, you simply remove the oldest, thickest branches once a year. New shoots replace them naturally, maintaining the plant's vitality. No complicated pruning techniques, no shaping required, just renewal. Gooseberries are also self-fertile, meaning a single plant can produce a full harvest. Perfect for small gardens or even container setups. Their cold tolerance is exceptional as well. Late frosts that damage delicate fruit blossoms like peaches or apricots rarely affect them. Even harsh winters have little impact. In the kitchen, gooseberries are incredibly versatile. When slightly underripe, they have a sharp tartness that works perfectly for pies, jams, and sauces. When fully ripe, they become sweeter while retaining a pleasant tang. Great for eating fresh. They're also excellent for preservation, making jams and jellies, preparing sauces for savory dishes, freezing for later use, fermenting into syrups, or even wine. Because they thrive in partially shaded areas, gooseberries help balance your garden, producing food where sun-loving crops can't. They prove that even the less obvious parts of your garden can be highly productive. Small, resilient, and easy to grow, gooseberries are not luxury plants. They're dependable sources of food. 4. Blackberries, vertical yield machines. If there were awards for productivity in gardening, blackberries would easily take the title of most underrated. Many people still picture them as wild, thorny brambles, messy, difficult, and frustrating to manage. But modern blackberry varieties are completely different. Today's cultivars are thornless, controlled, and optimized for high yields. Imagine this. Instead of waiting years for large fruit trees to mature, you grow a simple row of blackberry canes along a fence. Each cane is covered in clusters of fruit, all easily within reach. While a single apple tree might occupy a large circular space, a row of blackberries along that same area can produce several times more edible fruit. The reason is simple. Blackberries grow upward. Each cane functions like a vertical fruit column, stacking clusters of berries along its length. Instead of spreading out, the plant builds its production vertically, and the timeline is much shorter. While fruit trees can take years before producing significant yields, modern thornless varieties like Triple Crown, Navajo, or Arapaho often begin producing within 18 to 24 months, their natural cycle. Year 1, the plant focuses on growth, producing new canes, primocanes. Year 2, those canes produce fruit, as floricines. After harvest, the old canes are removed, while new ones are already growing. This creates a continuous cycle of renewal. No waiting years, no gaps in production, just steady, predictable harvests. A well-maintained blackberry planting can yield 10 to 20 pounds per plant. With multiple canes trained along a trellis, a single row can produce 40 to 60 pounds of fruit, more than enough for fresh eating and long-term storage. Blackberries are also very easy to preserve. Freeze them whole with no preparation, dry them for storage, turn them into rich, flavorful jams. They are also highly adaptable. Poor soil, they still grow limited water. Their roots help them cope. Minimal care, they remain productive. For best results, grow them along a trellis or fence and guide new canes upward. After fruiting, remove old canes and thin out crowded growth, leaving the strongest shoots for the next season. With thornless varieties, this process becomes simple and even enjoyable, more like shaping than heavy pruning. Where fruit trees demand time, space, and constant maintenance, blackberries offer efficiency and simplicity. They don't just grow, they build upward, stacking fruit vertically like shelves, ready for harvesting throughout the season. 5. Currants, cascades of compact abundance. If gooseberries thrive in the shadows, currants bring elegance and productivity together, like hanging strands of jewels. These compact shrubs turn efficiency into something almost artistic. Their branches are draped with long strings of tightly packed berries, red, black, or white depending on the variety, so dense that a single bush can resemble a cluster of shining pearls. What makes currants truly special is how naturally they combine simplicity with increasing productivity. While many fruiting plants require constant renewal, currants become more productive as they age. Each year adds more woody structure, supporting additional fruiting points. A young bush might yield modestly, but after several years it transforms into a highly productive plant. It's not uncommon for a mature currant bush to produce around 10 pounds of fruit. And because the berries grow in tight clusters, harvesting is fast. Each handful fills quickly without searching through dense foliage. Currants are also long-lived and easy to manage. They don't need aggressive pruning. Simply remove a portion of the oldest branches every few years to maintain airflow and light. The rest takes care of itself. Their compact size, usually between 3 and 5 feet tall, makes them perfect for lining pathways, planting along fences, or fitting between other crops. They tolerate cooler climates and partial shade, thriving in conditions that challenge many fruit plants. One of their biggest advantages is longevity. A well-established currant bush can remain productive for 15 to 20 years with minimal care, making it ideal for long-term garden systems. Different varieties offer different strengths. Red currants, bright, tangy, excellent for jams or fresh use. White currants, milder and sweeter, perfect for desserts. Black currants, bold flavor, high in vitamin C, ideal for syrups and preserves. They also support garden ecosystems. Pollinators are drawn to their early blossoms, and birds benefit from leftover fruit after harvest. Currants adapt well to containers too. In smaller or urban spaces, you can grow multiple varieties in pots, encouraging cross-pollination and extending your harvest season. They demonstrate that productivity doesn't require size. With a balanced structure and minimal demands, currants offer a clean, organized, and highly efficient way to grow fruit, often producing far more per square foot than traditional trees. 6. Honeyberries, the first to harvest. If your garden had a race for the earliest fruit, honeyberries would win without competition. Also known as Haskop in colder regions, these plants are true early-season pioneers. They wake up before almost everything else, before blueberries, before strawberries, and sometimes even before grass begins to grow again. Picture stepping outside in early spring when most plants are just emerging and finding ripe blueberries already ready to pick. That's the unique advantage of honeyberries. They deliver sweetness long before summer begins. Their timing makes them especially valuable. While most fruit plants are still flowering, honeyberries are already developing fruit. In cooler climates, they can ripen several weeks ahead of strawberries, giving you a significant head start on the harvest season. Their growth habit is compact and tidy, usually about 3 to 5 feet tall and wide. They fit easily into small gardens, borders, or containers without spreading aggressively or taking over space. What truly sets honeyberries apart is their extreme cold tolerance. Originating from regions like Siberia and northern Japan, they are adapted to survive very harsh winters. Late frosts that damage blossoms on other fruit crops have little effect on them. Even snow during flowering rarely prevents successful pollination. There is one important requirement: they need cross-pollination. Honeyberries are not self-fertile, so at least 2 compatible varieties must be planted nearby. Pairing varieties such as Aurora with Borealis or Honeybee with Indigo Gem ensures reliable fruit production each season. Another advantage comes from their early ripening. Because they mature before most birds begin heavy feeding, you lose very little fruit to wildlife. This reduces the need for protective netting and makes harvesting easier. The berries themselves are distinctive, elongated, deep blue on the outside with a soft, reddish interior. Their flavor combines elements of blueberry and raspberry with a slightly wild, tangy sweetness. Nutritionally, they are extremely rich in antioxidants, often surpassing blueberries. They also store well. Honeyberries freeze beautifully, maintaining their shape and color, and work perfectly in jams, syrups, and sauces, or simply eaten fresh. Beyond their harvest, they serve as an early signal of garden conditions. Because they leaf out so early, they help you observe soil moisture, drainage, and sunlight patterns before other plants begin growing. And perhaps most importantly, they produce quickly. Within 1 or 2 years of planting, you can expect a real harvest without long waiting periods or complicated care. Honeyberries represent speed, resilience, and efficiency. They are the first fruits of the season, a reminder that productive gardening doesn't have to follow the slow timeline of traditional orchards. They are early, durable, low maintenance, and highly rewarding, an essential addition for anyone who wants results without waiting. 7. Strawberries. A living carpet of yield. When it comes to maximizing production in a small space, strawberries are in a league of their own. They may be small, but their output is anything but. Very few fruit crops, whether trees or shrubs, can match the amount of food strawberries produce per square foot. A healthy strawberry bed behaves like a living ground cover, spreading outward, rooting itself, and forming new plants season after season. Their secret lies in their ability to reproduce through runners. Each plant sends out thin stems that touch the soil, take root, and grow into new plants. In just 1 year, a single plant can multiply into several, each capable of producing fruit. The result is a self-expanding patch that continues to grow and renew itself. No grafting, no replanting required. With proper care, even a small area can produce several pounds of fruit per season, and a raised bed can provide a steady harvest for months. Unlike fruit trees that require years before producing, strawberries reward you quickly. Many varieties begin producing in the same year they're planted. Once established, they yield heavily for 3 to 4 seasons, after which younger plants, formed from runners, naturally take over. Their flexibility is another major advantage. Strawberries can be grown as a ground cover in garden beds, in containers or hanging baskets for easy access and decoration, in vertical systems or stacked planters, maximizing even the smallest spaces. Each setup becomes a compact fruit system, capable of producing continuously from late spring through early fall. Caring for strawberries is straightforward. Keep soil evenly moist. Use slightly acidic soil around pH 6.0. Add compost or slow-release fertilizer once per season. Apply mulch, such as straw, to retain moisture, keep fruit clean, and reduce weeds. The reward is months of harvesting sweet, sun-ripened fruit from plants that stay low to the ground. Whether you choose June-bearing varieties for one large harvest or ever-bearing types for continuous production, strawberries consistently deliver high yields. From a value standpoint, they're incredibly efficient. A single raised bed can produce significantly more food value than the same space planted with fruit trees or vines. And because the plants are small and easily replaced, they adapt well to crop rotation. They also function as excellent companion plants, helping suppress weeds and enhancing the appearance of garden borders or patio spaces. In simple terms, small plants, high productivity, exceptional efficiency. Strawberries are one of the best options for anyone looking to produce maximum food in minimal space. 8. Herbs. Small plants, constant returns. Now shift from sweet to savory because not all productivity comes from fruit. When it comes to versatility and continuous harvest, herbs are unmatched. These compact, resilient plants grow quickly, regenerate after cutting, and enhance both your meals and your garden's ecosystem. Take basil as an example. One well-maintained plant can produce fresh leaves continuously throughout the season, providing enough for salads, sauces, and pestos from a plant that fits in the palm of your hand. Parsley and cilantro behave similarly. They grow quickly, recover after each harvest, and keep producing new growth as long as you continue trimming them. Then there are perennial herbs like oregano, thyme, sage, chives, and rosemary. Plant them once and they return year after year with minimal care. In warm climates, rosemary can become a permanent evergreen shrub, while thyme spreads across the soil like a living mulch, protecting it while producing flavorful leaves. What makes herbs unique is their frequency of harvest. They produce continuously, often weekly, rather than once per season. While many crops go dormant, some herbs remain active year-round or quickly regrow when conditions improve. In practical terms, even a small herb patch can replace a significant amount of store-bought produce. A space as small as 2 square feet can provide ongoing harvests worth far more than its size suggests. Herbs can also be dried, frozen, or preserved easily, maintaining their flavor for months. Their adaptability makes them ideal for almost any setup. Window boxes or small balcony pots, indoor kitchen planters with good light companion planting, alongside vegetables and fruits, herbs also play an important ecological role. Many help repel pests or attract beneficial insects. Basil and dill deter harmful bugs, mint can repel ants, and lavender draws pollinators. Together, they create a supportive environment that benefits the entire garden. Nutritionally, herbs are concentrated sources of antioxidants, minerals, and beneficial oils. Even in small amounts, they add both flavor and health benefits to meals. There's also something uniquely satisfying about growing herbs. You don't have to wait months. You can begin harvesting almost immediately. They become a living pantry, always within reach. So while herbs may not produce large quantities by weight, they outperform many crops in terms of frequency, usefulness, and return on effort. They remind us that abundance isn't always measured in bulk. It can also be measured in flavor, nutrition, and convenience. From the aroma of rosemary to the freshness of basil and the resilience of thyme, herbs are small but powerful allies in the garden, producing steadily, efficiently, and without interruption.